Here are some additional updates as to what we know thus far on the Charlie Kirk case. The FBI is offering $100,000 reward for information on Charlie Kirk's shooting. The FBI says it's offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the identification and arrest of whoever is responsible for Kirk's death. Anyone with information is asked to call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Officials also published the link for a form where people can upload videos and photos. Earlier Thursday, law enforcement officials disseminated two photos, these right here, seeking the public's help in identifying the person of interest. Do keep in mind they had two previous persons of interest that were named. I personally don't think that was smart to name the people because a lot of people have comprehension issues and they skim broadcasts that were questioned and then subsequently one was completely released, one was arrested and booked on charges, but not in connection to the actual shooting. A bipartisan group of senators condemns Charlie Kirk's killing. We are just here as a group to say America cannot govern itself this way, GOP Senator Lindsey Graham said to open a news conference Thursday, flanked by a mix of Democratic and Republican senators. GOP Senator Katie Britt said Kirk has influenced many people, including her children. Well, that is unfortunate. Turning Point USA is also claiming to have on average a million people who consume their podcast. Also unfortunate. Talking through this with them last night is just unthinkable, said the emotional Brit. The time for unity, the time for peace, it is now. Maybe you should have said that to Kirk, because he was not about unity or peace. Just saying. The news conference was to highlight a bipartisan push to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism and included Democratic Senators Richard Blumenthal and Amy Klobuchar. Klobuchar highlighted multiple shootings that had happened in her own state of Minnesota this year, including the killing of a top Democratic state lawmaker. It has to end, and we have to join together to condemn it, Klobuchar said. And I mean, if we're keeping a tally, more non-Republican politicians and public figures have been threatened with violence or murdered or assaulted. Vance to fly Kirk's casket and family from Utah to Arizona aboard Air Force Two. Can he do that? That's according to a source with knowledge of the planning but not authorized to speak publicly about them. Vance shuffled his schedule Thursday. His schedule of vacationing or count jumping? Nixing plans to attend a September 11th commemoration in New York City and heading instead to Utah, where Kirk, his friend, was assassinated Wednesday. There is that word again. Okay. While in Utah, Vance and his wife, Usha, were to meet with Kirk's family and close friends, the person with knowledge told the AP. Afterwards, Vance will fly Kirk's casket and family with him aboard Air Force Two from Utah to Arizona, where Kirk made his home. So, Air Force Two is just public transportation now, huh? Temporary flight restrictions were issued earlier Thursday for both areas, indicated movements of a high-profile person like Vance. Politicians canceled public appearances after shooting. Y'all do realize that a member of Doge was also shot a while back, and never mind. Elected officials and activists across the political spectrum are canceling their speaking engagements this week, citing concerns of political violence. I don't know, maybe instead of canceling these appearances, start telling the truth for once and stop inciting violence for the sake of clickbait. And I don't know, do the job you were elected to do. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the nation's most prominent progressive voices, has postponed her visit to Raleigh, North Carolina, where she was scheduled to attend a rally with state Democrats on Sunday. She said the cancellations was because of security concerns. The scourge of gun violence and political violence must end, Ocasio-Cortez said. The shooting of Charlie Kirk is the latest incident of this chaos, and it must stop. We cannot go down this road. We're already down the road. We're already down the road. We got condos built on it. Now, here's what some other leaders who've experienced political violence are saying. Trump. Charlie Kirk was a martyr for truth and freedom. A bullshit. Representative Nancy Pelosi of California. Political violence has absolutely no place in our nation. Former Representative Gabrielle Giffords of Arizona. Democratic societies will always have political disagreements, but we must never allow America to become a country that confronts those disagreements with violence. Too late. Too late. This was firmly cemented when people had bleeding hearts after the Nazi rally that ended with someone dying by being run over by a car. When Trump kept changing the narrative of his self-coup, aka January 6th, and then pardoned them. So we're past that. Let these talking points, let these sound bites be the truth for once. How about that? How about that? Representative Steve Scalise of Louisiana. Please join me in praying for Charlie Kirk after this senseless act. Nope, he didn't want our prayers. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. The attack on Charlie Kirk is horrifying, and this growing type of unconscionable violence cannot be allowed in our society. It already has been. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. We should all come together to stand up against any and all forms of political violence. Well, you decided to become Diet MAGA after they tried to kidnap you, so I don't give a shit what you have to say. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Once again, a bullet has silenced the most eloquent truth teller of an era. Where is the truth and where was his eloquence? Law enforcement to give update on Kirk shooting at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12:45 p.m. Mountain Time. Officials in Utah are planning to give another update in their investigation into Kirk's fatal shooting at the Utah Valley University. So, once they begin, I will get the footage as always and present it to you. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section.